Alright, today we're doing a video on Lynch versus MXG gear deep carry Spyderco clips. Let's do it. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Today we've got something a little bit different. We're comparing two types of aftermarket deep carry Spyderco clips. I know, very specific, but I think it's applicable because these are very popular models and very popular deep carry clips for these guys because the factory clips, in my opinion, leave a lot to be desired. And I think a lot of people agree. So let's just jump right in. MXG gear, they make these guys, these two right here, and Lynch makes these two right here. Obviously, both companies have a lot more different knife pocket clips. These are just the four that I have. So I'm going to talk about some just subtle differences and why you should maybe get one or the other or make the choice for yourself, because it's a pretty close match. So I'm mostly going to compare these two because they're the same model, same knife. So this is the MXG gear deep carry clip specifically for the Para 3, and this is the same butt from Lynch. So one of the things that I want to point out right away, price is almost the same for both of these. The MXG gear, it goes a little bit deeper, so you can see it's actually extended on the bottom here to go, cover this lanyard hole, or it doesn't cover the lanyard hole. It has a nice cutout there, and it goes all the way to the very edge of the knife. So very deep carry. The Lynch, on the other hand, doesn't quite go as far. So that's, not necessarily a bad or good thing. It depends on what you prefer. If you want ultra deep, this one's going to get you there. But this one's a little shallower, and so it leaves a little bit of the knife out. It makes it maybe a little easier to grab. Just something to keep in mind. The MXG gear clip also is a little bit more rigid, I think, because it has a little more material towards the end. And so it doesn't move around as much. The Lynch, you're not going to be able to see it much. Oh, maybe you can see that. It wiggles a little bit. And it's not because it's loose at the screws. It's just because it's just got a little bit of play in there. And this end is solid fixed in, no problem. It's just that, it just tiny bit of bend. Not a big deal. Something I had to get used to first. And I'm always on the clip when I close the knife, so I feel it a little bit. But the thing I really like about Lynch is that he's got way more options for finishes on these clips. So, this knife being with a nice satin blade, I got the nice, ultra polished clip. Whereas MXG gear pretty much only offers this stonewash and, maybe a black and, a bronzed. There's only, two other options, maybe, that don't really work in as many settings. Lynch has, I don't know, 4 or 5 different types of satin. He's got stonewash, sandblast or bead blast, polished satin, and then one more maybe. So he's got a lot in just that satin color. And then he does this nice, really nice ice blue, which matches perfectly with this knife. He does a red, black, a fade anodized titanium, flame anodized. Some Cerakoting, I think he does on some of them. So basically, there's a lot more options that I think can fit to whatever your specific knife is. The colors on the scale or the blade, whatever it is. So that's cool. So I'll say this. I don't know that I can for sure recommend one above the other. That's kind of why I've tried both, because I want to get a feel for what's out there, in general. And I love having these two matching guys, and I think they work well on this knife. The MXG gear clips are extremely solid. They're like a tank. And I really like that they go all the way, totally deep. Whereas the Lynch clips, maybe they're a little bit thinner, not quite as tankish, but they definitely do the job, no doubt, obviously. And there's a lot of really cool options. So I think if you want more customizability and more options, go with the Lynch. If you want something that you're going to have a bunch of and want to look uniform and is no wiggle whatsoever, go for the MXG. But basically, they're both really good. Those are just some subtle differences that I've noticed. And again, the price is pretty similar. I think these guys are a little bit thinner too. Yeah, so the Lynch is a little bit thinner than the MXG. So you can see if you want something a little bit, you know, high speed. I don't know if that makes a difference or not. Maybe that could be why these guys wiggle a little bit more. You can feel it in this one too. But yeah, subtle differences. Both really, really great makers of clips. Really good craftsmen. Honestly, I would say if you have multiple Spydercos, try them both, because you know it's good to have some variation. But you obviously can't go wrong with either one. And I guess in that sense, this video is kind of probably lame because I'm not actually coming to a total conclusion. And but that's okay. You know, it's all opinionated. Anyways, thanks for checking this out. This was a quick one. Just wanted to get this out there to see if anyone else agrees with me or disagrees. Feel free to comment below. I love reading and responding to your comments, so that's always cool. Thanks again for subscribing and watching and everything you guys do. It's awesome. I really appreciate the support. So that's it for this one, and we'll see you next time. Take care.